So, Percy Jackson is just Harry Potter. We get it, those in front of and behind the camera get it, Rick Riordan gets it most of all. And obviously, these archetypes have existed long before the days of Harry Wizards. But with that in mind, how does just another YA Harry Potter ripoff stand on its own? Well, you make it good. And I'm so happy to report that with Season 2 of Disney Plus's Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the show is now cemented as the definitive Percy Jackson adaptation and an entertaining ride for anyone interested. Of course, I am somewhat biased, having a sentimental connection to Percy Jackson, because from childhood, I have loved the books. Way more than Harry Potter, which is saying a lot, because I also loved Harry Potter. And reviewing Season 1 was one of the first videos I made, so I felt like I had to talk about its follow-up, The Sea of Monsters. Welcome to Sandwich Reviews. I'm that sandwich guy, your nihilistic optimist. And to be entirely frank, which I always am, the second Percy Jackson book, The Sea of Monsters, was never my favorite. Not that it's bad, the others are just more intriguing. But being older and now having experienced so many stories based on Homer's The Odyssey, it's surprising to see how well this season dives into it. Plus, it's super fun that in less than a year, we're gonna get Christopher Nolan's version of this. But getting back to Percy Jackson, because Season 2 takes some time to get going. Though once the story starts, the fully realized characters across the board shine, and plenty of emotionally charged fun is to be had. That, along with some top-notch CG and effects work, makes for genuinely great conflict to see unfold. Though that dang dreaded CG smoke and mist does rear its ugly head every once in a while, mainly for what I assume is just to cover up some budgetary issues. Yet for the most part, this show looks good. For instance, Tyson's Cyclops look is, to put it best, hit or miss. When it hits, my god, it is some of the best Cyclops CG out there. However, anything with another person in frame or a moving camera and the quality dropped off of a cliff. But in any moment let down by the TV, but still Disney budget, the writing was able to pick up the slack. Still consisting of the occasional awkward YA moment that seems to be a staple of the genre, like a stilted intro for Clarice the cliched bully, but her ongoing arc was nice to see. In fact, speaking of ongoing arcs, what made me appreciate this season the most was the slight focus on Luke, expanding on what was established in the first season and laying the groundwork for craziness down the line. Even with Hermes, there's just so much I can't wait to see in the future. Though some of that and other emotional moments are just a smidge let down by some of the young actors. And I don't want to harp on this for too long, because Lord knows these kids have already gotten enough undeserved hate, and I don't want anything in this to be clipped out and used against them. So I'll just say, I know they'll get better, which just leaves me more excited for the future. But at the end of the day, this whole season was simply an improvement on the first. For Season 1, I can't help but think that the showrunners only looked at how they could best tell Percy's story, whereas for Season 2, they rightfully changed tactics and asked how they could best tell the book's entire story in this different medium, allowing us to see much more of the overall intertwining narrative. To be clear, only seeing Percy's point of view is not a flaw of the books. That's the story that they were telling. But this show shouldn't ever be confined to that limited perspective, and thus changed accordingly. All to depict a season that is more than just entertaining to see unfold, it's enthralling. And this won't take all day, but to quickly mention a few reasons why, I'm gonna have to talk about some spoilers. The real meat of the sandwich. But first up, how could I not mention Cersei and her extraordinarily well-written episode, where, like how they portrayed Medusa in season 1, the audience is meant to sympathize with her, understanding why she's doing what she's doing. But unlike Medusa, Cersei's sympathetic nature doesn't get in the way of her antithetical goal to the protagonist. Where in season 1, after too much pity, I began to question why Medusa had to be depicted as a villain at all. But Cersei, right from the get-go, was one of my favorite villains to see actualized, as well as Polyphemus himself, who I could have used more of, but became a legitimate threat after the fun reveal of how capable he was. Yet the one thing I'm sure you're just dying for me to get to is the first child of the Great Prophecy. I mean, not the first, but don't worry about that. We'll get into that next season. But of course, I'm talking about Thalia Grace, who, like everyone else, gets some great character work. More so hinted at, because that's all next season, but all that just leaves me highly anticipating the Titan's Curse. The cliffhanger ending itself borders on cringy with the voiceover, but I was instantly back in with the after credit scene. Well, not the after credit scene, though that Cersei thing was fun. I'm talking about the tease for season 3, confirming it to be releasing this year in 2026. Showing a Percabeth moment is an interesting choice, considering there's a million other things they could have teased to draw in viewers, but hey, that's just me. And undeniably, though this is true for just about anything they could have shown, even a blank screen with just the text saying Season 3 2026, I'm excited. Are you? Did you enjoy Season 2 as much as I did? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe for weekly video essays and reviews, and enjoy a delicious sandwich.